With every single AI breakthrough we hear about, there's this one huge, unsettling question that just keeps getting louder. Are we basically programming ourselves out of a job? Out of a purpose? Let's get into that.
And I want you to really let that question sink in. Think about it. As these machines get scarily good at writing, coding, designing, even making incredibly complex decisions, what happens to us? Are we actually walking into a future where humans are, well, obsolete?
And look, this is not science fiction. That quote right there is from a computer scientist, Moshe Vardi. He's basically warning us that we are building the very things that are designed to be better than us. It's a possibility that experts take so seriously, we have to understand where they're coming from.
So how are we supposed to think about all this? Well, the whole debate really splits into two totally different camps, two competing visions for our future with AI. Is it just a helpful tool, or is it a genuine threat to our value as people?
Okay, so first, you've got the optimists. They see AI as the ultimate sidekick. The big word they use is augmentation. And the idea is pretty simple. AI won't replace you, it'll just take over all the boring, repetitive stuff. And that, in theory, frees us up to be more creative, more strategic, to focus on the things only a human can do.
But then there's the other side of the coin. The much more cynical and maybe, just maybe, more realistic take. When a company says AI will make things more efficient, what does that actually mean on the ground? Well, for a lot of people, it means that if one person with an AI can do the work of 5, then you don't need the other 4 people anymore. And that brings us to a really important study.
Back in 2013, a couple of researchers at Oxford, Carl Benedict Frey and Michael Osborne, published a paper that just sent shockwaves through the whole world of tech and economics. They tried to put a real number on this threat of automation. And the number they landed on was this: 47%. Their research predicted that nearly half of all jobs in the United States were at high risk of being completely automated within just a decade or two. Half.
Now, what's really wild is when you see what those jobs actually are. This makes that 47% number feel very real, very fast. We're not just talking about factory jobs anymore. Look at this list. Telemarketers, cashiers, but also paralegals and legal assistants are right near the top, over a 90% chance of automation. These are common jobs that millions of people do every single day. This massive potential for job loss is what led the historian Yuval Noah Harari to start talking about something way more profound, and honestly, a lot more disturbing. He says the problem isn't just about losing your job, it's about losing your fundamental value to the economic system. And he coined this term the useless class. Now, it is absolutely critical to understand what he means. This is not a moral judgment. It's not about a person's worth. It's a cold, hard economic definition. In a world where machines can do almost everything, what economic value does a person have if they can't contribute as a worker? And this is the key to why this time might be different. Think about it. The Industrial Revolution replaced our physical muscle power. But humans always had the edge when it came to our minds, our brains. But now, for the first time ever, we've built a technology that competes with us on a cognitive level. And that changes the entire game.
Okay, so that 47% number is pretty scary. But is it the whole story? Not everyone buys into that all or nothing doom and gloom. There's a really strong counterargument that says, hey, we need to look at this with a bit more nuance.
See, that first Oxford study looked at entire occupations. It asked, can this whole job be automated? But a different way to look at it is through the lens of tasks. This view says very few jobs are 100% made of things a machine can do. Instead, only certain tasks inside a job get automated. And when you look at it that way, the estimate for high-risk jobs completely plummets, from 47% all the way down to just 9%.
So what's holding AI back from just doing everything? Well, researchers point to these 3 big hurdles, or engineering bottlenecks. Right now, AI is still pretty bad at genuine, out-of-the-box creativity. It's not great at complex social stuff, like real negotiation or empathy. And it struggles with messy, unpredictable physical spaces. For now, these are the skills that are still uniquely human. So even if a lot of jobs do survive by focusing more on those human-centered tasks, the workplace is still going to change a lot. And this brings up some even deeper questions about the quality of our work and, our whole sense of purpose.
One of the biggest risks here is something called digital dehumanization. And you've probably felt this already. When you replace a human interaction with an AI, you lose something important. Getting performance feedback from a mentor who cares about you, that's a rich human experience. Getting it from an automated rating system? Not so much.
We're slowly engineering empathy right out of the workplace. And this is not some far-off future. It's happening right now. Just look at Amazon's warehouses, where AI systems are managing human workers with absolutely ruthless efficiency. The AI tracks every move, it sets the pace, and it's led to all these reports of intense pressure and burnout. It's a perfect example of optimizing for productivity at the direct expense of human well-being.
So, if mass job loss does become a reality, what on earth do we do? Well, one of the biggest ideas being thrown around is Universal Basic Income, or UBI. The concept is actually pretty simple. The government gives every single citizen a regular, guaranteed income, no strings attached. It's meant to be a safety net in a world where a steady job might not be an option for everybody.
But this brings us to the final and most important question of all. Let's just say we figure out the money problem. Let's say we get UBI, nobody starves, our material needs are met. Okay, great. But what about our psychological needs? What about our need to have a purpose?
So when you put it all together, you see the debate isn't just about 47% versus 9%. It's about a fundamental change in what it means to work and maybe even what it means to be human. For centuries, our jobs have given us so much more than a paycheck, right? They've given us identity, community, a sense of purpose. If AI starts taking that away, even if it's just piece by piece, what's left? In a world that might not need us to work,